Hey, I'm Eric with farbike.com, and by popular demand I am going to show you how to put together the rack for an extreme electric bike. It comes in this foam packed wrapped thing, and don't worry if you don't know how to put it together. It takes a little finesse to get it going. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It's fairly easy, it just takes a little while. Here's how you start. You're going to need a couple of your hex keys. You'll get these in the toolkit. And then an 8mm and a 10mm wrench is all you need to put this together. So let's start. I got a box cutter here and open up the bag. So here's the bits that you get in the bag. You get the top of the rack. And you can see all these bolts on the side. They will be important. A bag of things. Let me show you what's in here. So we have two bendy metal things like this, two metal things with holes in it, another two little brackets, I'll show you what those do later on, and a few bolts and things. So we will use all these things. And then next, we get these pieces in a bag. Looks like that. And another one that looks almost identical like that. Take our top piece. It looks like this. It's the thing with the springy bit on it and all the bolts on the side. Now we're going to face that face down on the table. Now, we are going to take each of these. Now, these are the sides of the rack. You will see on the rack, this side goes towards the back, and the back is this side with the upright bracket that looks like that right there. Now, you'll have two of these, and each one goes like this. And you'll see, make sure on the outside, see how it's facing like this? Bendy part towards the back, and this part, where it kind of indents right here, this goes to the outside. So you'll have one where this indent goes to the outside this way, and this side, bendy part towards the back, indent towards me on the outside. So first thing we do is this thing will mount to these bolts that are on the top of the rack. So let's unscrew all of those bolts. So now I took the nuts off of all of these bolts on this side. I'll take our side piece, and remember, indent like there, right there, facing outwards, outside. And these go and slide onto these three bolts right here that you just unbolted. Sometimes you gotta bend it a little to get them pop in. Don't be afraid to use a little force on this. Alright, so I got these three in. You'll see like that. And then I'll take these nuts and put them onto the outside of the bolt. And that'll hold this side piece in place. So put all three on. Alright, there's one side on. Here's a close-up of what it looks like. You see, those bolts that were on the top are now attaching this side piece, and you can see they go on the outside. This side piece goes on the inside, and then the bolts are on the inside, and that holds it in place. So then do the same thing for the other side. Alright, our rack is attached. Now you'll see it has the two side pieces on there. They are all bolted to the side like that. You can see these are bolted sort of to the inside of the bracket that they're sitting on. So hopefully you can see that there. So that's the rack, and then there's one more bit that's on these new X-treme racks, is they've included a rear light. So let me grab that and show you how they put that on. So with your new X-treme electric bike, you'll find this little white box. Inside of that is this light. And this is your light. So this is the rear tail light. You pull this little tab out, that out of here, and you press a button and boom! Ah, tail light. Yay! That's good. Alright, and on the back of this you'll see two bolts. Like that. Screw those nuts off. Now this light mounts on the back of the rack on that thing right there. So this thing goes like that. It'll pop right through the two holes on the rack. So just like that, and then take the bolts or nuts and washers that you just took off and slide them on. Okay, there you go. We got the rack assembled, at least this part of it. So you see the rack, you know, you got the bendy thing up here. This part that curves upward is towards the front of the bike. The back of the bike has the light on it like that. And the curvy bit is at the back. And remember, there's indent right here. So you can see those indents go towards the outside of the bike. Alright, rack assembled. Now we move on to these bendy metal bits. Now we have to bring those over to the bike. I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so we have an X-treme Catalina here. These are brand new, they're awesome. 48 volt, 500 watt. So let's put the rack on it. First thing you'll need is this piece right here that has that weird little bend in it. So this is the top with all the holes, and this is the bottom. This mounts to this bolt right here, and that should come already on the bike when you get the bike. So you'll see that bolt right there. So just screw that out. Just like that. And now you'll see this bendy bit is there because it fits over the brake caliper and doesn't get in its way. So you put that right over that bit you just unscrewed, put that bolt back in, and tighten it a few turns. Alright, and leave it loose for now, because we'll tighten everything up at the end. Okay, now on the other side, you take this straight bit that has holes in it, one hole on the bottom, and you'll see another bolt that's right here, already on the frame when you get the bike, and take that piece out. Take that bolt you just took out, put it through, so it's got all the holes, put it through the hole on the bottom, and then you'll see you put it into that hole right there that you just took that bolt out of. And just screw it in there, and again, leave it loose for right now. And remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Alright, do a few turns on that, and then just leave it loose for now. Alright, now we move to these bendy rods. You'll get two of these. You'll see they're two little bent metal rods, and those go right here. And you'll see they mount to these two holes on the frame right here. And I usually put them on the inside, and you want them so it's facing up and down. So it's sort of like, it's sort of at this angle when you pop it on the bike. And then you'll have these two of these bolts that look like this. It's a hex bolt. So you screw off that bit here. Take your bendy rod, put it on like this so that the Black part is on the inside of the frame. So you put the bolt through there. This goes like this, slides on like that. And then you take your nut and screw it on the back. And again, now it's on there. Leave it loose for now, just let it hang. And then do the same for the other side. Alright, so we're on the other side. Bendy piece of metal. The bend is facing down like that. Put it through the hole right here. Put that bolt right there. Put this guy on there. And screw on the nut. And once again, leave that loose. Alright, so just a recap of what we just did. We put on this guy, and you can see it has that weird bend in it because it goes over the brake caliper, and it's bolted in right there, and we're leaving that loose. This bendy bar right here is bolted in right there at the top of the back tube. Again, on the other side, the straight bar with holes in it is put in right there, and this guy is attached just like that. So we got those bits on. We're back to the rack that we just put together, and you'll see on the front right here you have these things with the hole in it, just like that. And on this rack it came, so one of these bolts like this was loose, and the way you do that is you see this bracket right there like that. You take this, put it through the hole, and put a nut on the other side. Just like that. And leave it a little loose. So these are just sitting here like that. So you can see there's two of these things with the holes in it, and those will be important. So now we have those two holes, those two brackets in, and you'll see these, and there's these hexes on the front that hold these brackets. I like to loosen them before I get started on this next part. It makes it a little bit easier. You can move everything into where it goes easier. So now you'll see these kind of move back and forth once you loosen them. Okay, so we have the rack, we have the bits on the bike all loosely installed. We'll take the rack, light towards the back naturally, and we'll just sit it on for right now. And now comes the next bit. You'll need two of these bolts. They're the bigger ones. Now, if you're missing any of these bolts, and mine was missing one on this bike, call X-treme. They'll send you a whole new set of bolts. I'll put the phone number right here. Just give them a call. They'll ship it out to you. And if the bike doesn't need the rack, you can still ride the bike without the rack. Alright, so we got the bike on, we got the rack on the bike. These bits that attach to the bike loosely attached. And now we take this piece that looks like a hole and then a weird D-shaped thing, and we will take what this is for it's for attaching panniers, those bags you put on the side of the rack. A lot of times they have hooks that go into this. So you take these, you take one of these bigger bolts, bigger diameter bolts, and put it through so the threads are on this side, and you can see it goes out like that. So then we take these and we attach it on this set of holes right here. So you just kind of eyeball how high you want it. You just don't want to interfere with the brake right here. So I'm going to go up to the second from the top and then just screw it in. Alright, so you see this thing faces upwards, so kind of the D shape is facing downwards, and that kind of pops into that groove that we remembered to face outwards earlier, and then you tighten this bolt, it threads into the rack, and tighten that down real good, get that all the way. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So you can see here now that we're closer, you want it has all these holes so you can set the height of the rack. You want it so the rack here doesn't interfere with the brake cable here. So usually on these bikes, second from the top seems to work pretty good. So then It'll kind of float here. Then we're going to take our other piece like this, and remember, threads to the outside just like that, and we're going to go do it on that side. Okay, now we're on that side. You'll see this guy goes in here. Now don't be afraid to pull on the rack. It does stretch a little bit. Now you see this piece with the holes in it like this goes into this groove that we remember to put on the outside at the beginning. Just like that, line up your holes and thread your bolt in. And there you go. Now we got it on like this. You can see these are facing upwards, and it's okay to pull this outwards so that the legs kind of do that. That's okay. Alright, now we are going to move on to these metal bits right here, and how they work is that they slide in to those holes on the bracket right here. Okay, so we have just slid these rods into the brackets right here, and then tighten this bolt which clamps these rods onto the rack. Now once you do that, just tighten up these top parts here. I'll make everything nice and tight for the parts that hold those metal rods to the rear rack. So you see, metal rod, it's angled like that. Those go through the two holes that are right here. Let me see if I can get a better angle. So those go through the two holes that are right there. So that metal rod attaches to the bike right here, comes up, goes through these two holes, and then you tighten this nut here, which clamps these rods to the rack right there. And then you tighten those two bolts right there, and that holds everything together. I told you it's not terribly fun to put these racks together, but you only have to do it once, so keep that in mind. Now all we have to do is tighten down all these bolts right here, and our rack is attached. That's it. And remember, you only have to do this once. I know it's not fun doing this. It takes a little while. There's a lot of pieces to attach, but you do it once and you're done. You'll never have to do it again. Alright, so now we have everything on here, but it's still loose because I haven't attached the 4 points that hold it to the bike. So I'll tighten those up. Get them real nice and tight. And look at that! The rack is on! Nice and tight. It's there. We have the light that works. And you got a rack. It's going to last you as long as the bike does. I know that took a little while. It's confusing. But once it's on, it's on. It's not going anywhere. You can sit your friends on it, put a 12-pack on the back, go fishing with it. These racks are really useful. So I'm going to give you a quick little walk around tour of it just so you see how everything's connected, because I find that's really helpful in helping to explain how these are attached. And that's it. My name is Eric. Go to farbike.com. If you have any questions, give me a call. I'm happy to help out. And until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Hey, I forgot one final thing. They give you these little rubber nipple things. Those go on the end of those bendy metal parts right there. So those just kind of slide on there. Not necessary, but it's a nice touch. Alright, so you can see right there, those slide on there. Just like that. So there you go. That's the rack. That is how you put a rack on an X-treme electric bike. Not the funnest process in the world, but you do it once and you're done. It's really nice to have I mean, yeah, I use it all the time. I've put my friends on here and give them a ride around, you know. I've had some people attach like fishing rod holders to the back of these. They also have panniers, and these are pannier clips, so you can like the hook that holds the panniers pops right in there. These are supports, so like your bags don't go into the wheel. This is a really good rack. I mean, it does take some time to put together, but it's an awesome rack. So take your time. Enjoy the process. You only have to do it once, and when you're done, you know your bike. It's good to know how to work on your bike. It's an important part of bike ownership. So, my name is Eric. I'm happy to help you out if you have any questions. Go to farbike.com, check out all the bikes. This bike that I've been working on is a X-treme Catalina 48-volt bike. It's their new beach cruiser for 2018. Very cool bike. It's fast too. It's really cool. So yeah, my name is Eric. Go to farbike.com, check it out, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later.